What if paying cash for your next car could actually cost you more money? Most Americans think cash gives them the strongest negotiating power at a dealership. But there's a problem. If you reveal how you plan to pay too early, you may give up leverage before the real negotiation even starts. Welcome to American Dream Finance. In this video, I'll show you the smarter way to negotiate the car price first, compare your payment options, and protect your money without falling for monthly payment or hidden fee traps. And stay until the end, because one simple negotiation move could save you hundreds or even thousands on your next car. Don't reveal your payment method too early. If you saved enough money to buy a car outright, that's a great financial position to be in. But there's a mistake many cash buyers make at the dealership. They reveal that they're paying cash before negotiating the price. You might walk in and say, "I'm a cash buyer. I can write you a check today." It sounds powerful, but it may not give you the leverage you think it does. Here's why. A dealership doesn't make money from only one part of the transaction. The vehicle sale is important, but dealerships can also earn money through financing and optional products sold in the F&I office. When a customer finances through the dealership, the dealer may receive compensation connected to arranging that financing, and the interest rate offered to the customer can sometimes be higher than the lender's buy rate. The CFPB specifically notes that dealers may have an incentive to increase the rate above the lender's buy rate. That creates an important negotiation dynamic. If the dealer believes there's additional profit available from financing, they may have more room to negotiate the vehicle price. If you immediately tell them, "I'm paying cash," you may be removing one potential source of profit before you have even negotiated the car. But there's an important correction to the popular advice here. The goal is not to lie to the dealer, and never pay cash is not literally true. Cash can absolutely be the right way to buy a car. The smarter strategy is to separate the negotiations. First, negotiate the out-the-door price. That means the actual price you will pay for the vehicle, including applicable taxes and fees, before financing is considered. The FTC specifically recommends getting this price in writing before discussing financing. Don't let the conversation immediately become, "What's your monthly payment?" Instead, bring it back to, "What is your best out-the-door price?" That number is what matters. For example, imagine a dealer starts at $35,000.
You negotiate. Maybe you eventually get the out-the-door price down to $31,500. Now you have a real number to evaluate. Only after you have settled the vehicle price should you decide how you're going to pay. Cash? Bank financing? Credit union? Dealer financing? That decision should come after you've established the purchase price, not before. And this is where another common mistake needs to be corrected. Some people suggest taking a dealership loan and immediately paying it off after a few weeks. That can work in some situations, but you should never assume it will. Your loan contract and state law determine whether an early payoff penalty applies. The CFPB recommends checking the contract and asking specifically about prepayment penalties before signing. There can also be manufacturer financing incentives that change the math. So the real lesson isn't always finance and then immediately pay cash. The real lesson is don't give up negotiating leverage before you've negotiated the price. That distinction can save you from making a very expensive mistake. And remember, you don't have to use dealership financing at all. You can get financing directly from a bank or credit union and compare that offer with what the dealer provides. So if you're sitting across from a salesperson and they ask, "Are you paying cash or financing?" you don't need to panic. You can simply say, "I'm focused on the out-the-door price first. Once we agree on that number, I'll decide how I want to pay." That's a much stronger position, because you're not negotiating the monthly payment. You're not negotiating how much you can afford each month. You're negotiating the actual price of the car. and that's the number you want to control first. Your cash gives you purchasing power. Don't accidentally turn it into a negotiating disadvantage before the negotiation even begins. The solution is simple. Separate the price negotiation from the financing decision. When you walk into a dealership, your first goal isn't to tell the salesperson how you're paying. Your first goal is to determine what the car actually costs you. Let's say you're looking at a $32,000 vehicle. The salesperson may ask, "Are you financing or paying cash?" Instead of answering immediately, bring the conversation back to the vehicle. Say, "Let's agree on the out-the-door price first. Then we can talk about how I'm paying." That's a completely reasonable request. And now you have something concrete to negotiate. Ask for the out-the-door price in writing. That should show the vehicle price plus applicable taxes, title or registration costs, and dealer fees. It also helps you identify unwanted add-ons instead of negotiating based on an attractive monthly payment. Because here's another trap. A salesperson might say, "I can get you into this car for only $499 a month." That sounds affordable, but $499 a month doesn't tell you the total cost. Maybe the loan is 72 months. Maybe there's a large down payment. Maybe the interest rate is high. Maybe optional products were added. A monthly payment can make an expensive car look cheap. Don't negotiate the payment, negotiate the total deal. And don't assume every dealer fee is fake or removable. Some fees may be legitimate or required by state law. Others may be dealer-imposed and negotiable. So instead of arguing about whether a fee is BS, ask a better question. Is this fee required by law or is it a dealer charge? Then ask, if that fee can't be removed, can you reduce the vehicle price by the same amount? Now you're negotiating the total transaction instead of getting stuck arguing over one line item. There's another important step that many buyers skip. Get competing offers before you go to the dealership. Check the price of the same vehicle at other dealers. Check online listings. If you're financing, get a pre-approval from a bank or credit union before visiting the dealer. You don't have to use that loan, but now you have a benchmark. For example, your credit union offers you 6%. The dealer offers 7.5%. Now you know exactly what you're comparing, and if the dealer offers a lower rate, you can evaluate it based on the total cost, not just the monthly payment. The same principle applies to cash. If you genuinely want to pay cash, that's fine. You don't need to manufacture a complicated financing strategy just to confuse the dealer. Simply negotiate the car first. Then say, "I've decided to pay for the vehicle without financing." If the dealer tells you the price changes because you're paying cash, ask them to explain the difference. Sometimes a dealer may offer a financing incentive that isn't available to cash buyers. That's where you compare the numbers. For example, imagine cash price $31,500, financing price $30,500 with a financing incentive. That doesn't automatically mean financing is better. You need to calculate the interest you would pay and check the loan terms, including whether there is any prepayment penalty. If you could finance $30,500 and pay it off quickly without a penalty, the math might work in your favor. But don't assume it will. Read the contract before signing, and if the numbers don't make sense, walk away. You are not obligated to buy the car simply because you've spent 2 hours at the dealership. That's one of the most valuable negotiating tools you have, the ability to leave. A dealership can sell you a car tomorrow. You don't have to buy one today. So your process should look like this. Step 1, research the exact vehicle. Step 2, compare prices from multiple sellers. Step 3, get the out-the-door price. Step 4, negotiate that price separately from financing. Step 5, compare cash, bank financing, credit union financing, and dealer financing. Step 6, review every fee and optional product before signing. And finally, don't let anyone rush you. If the numbers suddenly change when you reach the F&I office, stop. Ask questions.
read the paperwork, and if the deal no longer makes sense, walk away. That's how you turn being a cash buyer from a weakness into what it should have been all along, a financial advantage. If you're planning to buy a car in the next few weeks, don't wait until you're sitting inside the dealership to figure out your strategy. Do the math before you walk through the door. Start with the exact vehicle you want. Write down the year, make, model, trim, mileage, and any options that matter to you. Then research what similar vehicles are actually selling for in your area. Next, decide what number makes sense for you, not the monthly payment, the total amount you're willing to pay. For example, if your maximum budget is $30,000, don't let a salesperson turn that into, "It's only $475 a month." You want to know what that $475 actually costs over the entire loan. Then get at least one outside financing option if you might finance. A local credit union or bank can give you a useful comparison point. You may still choose dealer financing, that's fine. But now you have a benchmark instead of relying on the dealer's number. When you arrive at the dealership, remember your order of operations. First, negotiate the out-the-door price. Second, review the fees and optional products. Third, choose your payment method. And fourth, read the final contract before signing anything. If you're paying cash, don't feel embarrassed about it. Cash is not the problem. The problem is revealing your entire financial strategy before you've negotiated the purchase price. And don't feel pressured to buy an extended warranty, gap coverage, protection package, or other add-on simply because someone tells you that you need it. Some products can be valuable in the right situation, but they should be evaluated separately. Ask, what does this cost? What exactly does it cover? Are there exclusions? Can I buy it somewhere else? And most importantly, do I actually need it? If you don't understand the answer, don't sign yet. You can take the paperwork, review it, and come back. And if the dealership refuses to give you reasonable time to understand the numbers, that's useful information too. You can leave. Remember, the salesperson has a car to sell. You have money to protect. Those are two very different positions. So here's the key lesson I want you to remember. Don't walk into a dealership thinking, "I'm a cash buyer, so I have to tell them immediately."
Walk in thinking, "I'm a buyer with options." You can pay cash, you can finance through your bank, you can use a credit union, you can compare dealer financing, and you can walk away. That's real negotiating power. So before you visit that dealership, write down 3 numbers: your target price, your maximum out-the-door price, and the total amount you're prepared to spend. Then stick to them. Because the smartest car buyer isn't necessarily the person who gets the lowest monthly payment. It's the person who understands the total deal and refuses to pay more than necessary. That's the move. Protect the wallet first, buy the car second.